You get giddy on credit card points.
You have no idea how long I spent in this game. If I combine all those 5 nights at 50,000 points, I can go to London and stay in a top-end hotel that would essentially cost me $2,000, and I get it for free.
We are not saying go into credit card debt with this. This is credit cards you pay off monthly, and you get free stuff.
I go and book the hotel at the Marriott, and it says if you book this with a credit card, you get $400 as a gift card to use towards the Marriott bill that you are getting right here.
That's a lot.
That's only one of the bonuses.
Oh, when people think points, people are like, well, why aren't you mentioning cashback? So the biggest reason I'm not a fan of cashback is because
have you ever been to a party where someone is explaining the most extravagant vacation they've just been on and you realize, didn't you go skiing this winter? These people aren't loaded most of the time. They're using their credit card points. Welcome back to another episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. My name is Dave Grant. My co-host is Heather Townsend. Today we are talking about credit card points. Without further ado, let's dive in. All right, so we're talking about credit card points. I love the credit card point game.
Oh, me too. We're gonna have fun on this.
This is where we bonded when we were starting to become friends, and we mentioned credit card points, and then the sparkle in our eyes. All right, so for people who are not aware of the credit card game, this is where you don't spend extravagantly, but you do all your everyday spending on various different credit cards for different sign-up bonuses and different multipliers, and then you use those points to get rewards.
Well, and to be fair, if you do spend extravagantly, you just have more points and more free stuff.
True.
Yes.
But I think for some people, they get it confused with, I have to spend 5 times the amount of money that I usually spend to get these rewards and go into huge amounts of debt to be able to do the vacations, and it's totally not that at all.
Okay, I should say this. Considering that we are Playbook of the Wealthy 2.0, like Finance 101 2.0, but anyone who is listening, I'm going to put this disclaimer 5 zillion times. We are not saying go into credit card debt with this. This is credit cards you pay off monthly, and you get free stuff.
So let me give you an example. So I did this recently, and I've been doing this for 10 years. So I am going to a conference in September. We're going to a conference, but I'm obviously buying my ticket. I'm not buying yours.
Thanks.
So I do not have a Marriott credit card. I go and book the hotel at the Marriott, and it says if you book this with a credit card, you get $400 as a gift card to use towards the Marriott bill that you are getting right here.
That's a lot.
That's only one of the bonuses.
Oh.
So then they're like, okay, so then if you spend X amount, I think it was $3,000 in 3 months, we'll give you 5 nights free to spend on any hotel up to a point value of 50,000 points. For someone who's not in the credit card game, that meant absolutely nothing. So essentially it means I get $400 taken off my bill straight away. If I combine all those 5 nights at 50,000 points, I can go to London and stay in a top-end hotel that would essentially cost me $2,000, and I get it for free. So that's what we're talking about.
All right. And when we're talking about credit card points, the value varies based on credit card point. Like wildly too. Like, so a point can be typically it's somewhere between 1 and 5 cents, which you're like, well, that's not a lot, but it is in the credit card point game. That 1 to 5 is a big difference. And like what, if you're going through Marriott or Hyatt or Chase or Amex, all of these things matter. So that's what we're going to dive into.
The thing that I don't like people doing, and I see this a lot, is they'll say, great, I can get that sign-up bonus and then I can get cash back on that card. We're going to dive into that in a little bit detail later, but if you're thinking of doing cash back on a credit card using the points, you're not playing this game well.
Well, because they don't go as far.
They don't. It's a 1-for-1 ratio. You can't leverage it. Before we go any further, we've got to do a shout out to Colin Stroud of Go Somewhere. If you are not aware of this credit card game, he is someone that you can use. He will provide his services for you, and he can actually book vacations for you utilizing your points. He helped us a lot with the research of this episode, making sure that we were on point. So Colin Stroud of Go Somewhere, go check him out. Thanks, Colin.
Wait. I'm curious for myself.
Yeah.
How much does he charge for something like this?
Well, it depends what you want him to do. it's nominal. It's not much money. But
like he just takes your credit card points and just be like, hey.
Well, you say, okay, I've got 500,000 Chase points. I've got this many 100,000 of hotel points, and I'd like to go to Europe. And he'd be like, great. If you want to go this day, we can get you business class. We can put you in this hotel, and it's going to cost you this. Here's the links to book it. So he does all of the research.
That is fantastic. It's phenomenal. I feel like that's half my battle now that I'm like so busy with everything. I'm like, I have all these points, but optimizing them is another game in itself, like spending the time. Okay. Let's talk about the different types of point categories, because I think that's important before we start going into the examples and how to maximize.
Sure.
So there's airline cards. I'm not really a big fan of these, I will say. So there's like the United, the American, the Delta. One of my girlfriends had a Delta card. That actually was pretty good. She got upgraded a lot. Then there are the hotel cards. Marriott is the main one, I would say, that I hear a lot of people or my clients have. And then there are just regular travel cards. That's like the Capital One, Chase Sapphire, Platinum Amex. That's a really popular one. Those can be used for multiple things: cashback, travel, hotels, airlines, whatever. So there's 3 types of cards. There's also the cashback card. When people think points, I don't think people are like, well, why aren't you mentioning cashback? I actually want to touch on that. I'm not a fan of cashback cards.
No.
And this is why. I guess this is kind of like the clientele we deal with in the world we're in. But look, you know, if you want a cashback card, I normally tell my clients, like, go with the double cash back, where you get 1% on everything you spend and then 1% when you go to pay off the credit card. That's great. It's flat. You don't have to worry about the bonus categories or whatever. You get 2%. So it's like a 2% discount, basically. You spend $10,000, you save $200 a month. You get $200 cash back, right?
Sure. The only one I've liked has been the Amazon card.
Cashback?
Yeah, because if I'm doing a lot of purchasing on Amazon just to run the household, if you use the Amazon Prime card, then it just racks up discounts on Amazon by using that card. It's also got Amazon Prime built into it, so you don't have to pay that fee. But then you're also getting cash back there just from your regular purchases.
What's the percent? Do you know?
It's like a regular cashback card. So, but it's just automatic it just racks up with Amazon. So it's kind of the lazy way of doing the cashback. You can obviously get more value if you use a different credit card and then go play the game. But if someone is just saying, okay, if I can do this on Amazon and just rack up cashback instead of 0, then that's the start.
So the biggest reason I'm not a fan of cashback is because, and granted, I'll say this, I'm very lucky, but my 2% cash back on my credit card is not going to be life-changing for me. And life-changing, I say, is changing my behavior, is getting me to more likely do the things that I want to do that are important into my life. And this is what I talk to my clients about. I love to travel. I like to travel in a nice way. And if I know that, hey, most of my flight is going to be covered to go to Europe, I am much more likely to go to Europe if that flight is free, when I have also the hotels and the meals and all that. I am way more likely to travel. Whereas, okay, that 2% cash back, I'm probably not more likely to go to Europe, right? With that mindset. It's a mindset. This is like the personal financial planning behavioral style. So when like people want to go take that trip for your anniversary or whatever, and you're like, whoa, we can go stay in this hotel and get 4 nights free. Again, more likely to do the thing.
Yeah. I think some people, when they play the game, they don't do it to the biggest level. If they're saying, okay, we're going to get all these points and then we're going to take a flight and we're going to go to Denver. I'm like, Denver may be phenomenal.
Denver, you brought up Denver. That was just a really funny example. I was like, where are you going with this?
But I'm like, that's great if you want to go to Denver, but you're probably not going to get the maximum amount of value for this.
No.
The maximum value is, okay, we're going to Italy. We're going to use our points to upgrade to business class because it's a long flight.
Yes.
And we're using an airline card so we get the club access beforehand. So all of these things layer on top of each other. If you're going to use it for these short little trips around the country, I don't think that's a lot of value. Yeah,
let's go into that really quick. So how are we using our credit card points? How do we use cards? I think we should touch on, we're the exact same way in our house. Alex hates Southwest, so we don't have that Southwest card. So any little trips like $200, $300 flights, we are not using points. We use points when it's like, okay, all four of us have a family have to go somewhere and the flights are 800 to 1,000 above. So we're going to spend $4,000, $5,000 on flights. We are using the points.
Sure.
I wait for those big, the bigger trips.
Yeah. We have typically used ours on spring break to try and get spring break as free as possible.
Because it's so expensive.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
So last time we went on a spring break trip, we went to LA. And so my kids are grown to where they can be in a hotel room by themselves. Well, now we're paying for 2 hotel rooms, paying for 4 tickets on a plane there and back, and it's during spring break week. So it probably took a year of racking up points to be able to make that as cheap as we could make it. And then both rooms were covered with points. The flights were covered with points. Obviously, I'm making animals of my children because I took them into the club lounge before flight, which they now think is normal. And so I'm like, this is not normal. You should have to go to McDonald's and sit next to someone very closely when you're eating, just so you understand what the club lounge is like. Because this is a little bit more luxurious than I had when I was growing up. But nevertheless, we did it because I have it. Now we haven't used any points since then. So it's probably been close to a year. We probably won't use points again for another year, which is when we're going to Europe. And so then it's going to be
everything again.
It's, by that point, it could be close to 750,000 points. With that, we then convert it. We're going to do hotels. We can do flights. And as much as we can get done on points, then we can use our cash for the fun stuff.
Okay, so how do you maximize? What is your credit card game in your system, in your life, in your financial life? Give it to me. I don't even know. I'm so fascinated to hear.
So it started slowly.
Okay.
And then I got the spreadsheet out.
Oh,
and then
dear.
that spreadsheet grew.
Okay.
And then the question in our house is, but what credit cards do I use? Because we have so many. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're playing this game a little too hard.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I've done it is you can sign up for a credit card using a social security number or a business EIN. So social security number for the business. Well, we've got me, my wife, and my business in the house. So I'll sign up for a credit card and get the bonus. Shortly after, my wife will sign up for this, probably the same card if it's a good point. And then my business will turn around and do probably the same thing. We'll do that for 3 months, and then we'll find the next best card and do that again 3 months later.
Oh my gosh, this is a lot of tracking. This would take a spreadsheet.
Yeah, so we're adding 3 new cards each 3 months. So we're going through 4 cards each. It could get up to 15 cards a year.
Oh dear.
The points is phenomenal. You get to 1 million points very quickly because the sign-up bonuses are that big. Because if you're doing $100,000 as a sign-up bonus,
yeah, you're
doing that every 3 months times 3. So you're 300,000 points every 3 months, which is phenomenal. Granted, that doesn't happen all the time. But if you can leverage that, then you get a lot of points. When you get to 15 cards, that's a lot of tracking, and we do not do that anymore. We have probably pared it down to probably 1 or 2 that we use each month, given it's hard to track, but also we use the cards that are the most flexible.
So that's what I actually found. It became the game of too many cards. At one point, so we used the Bilt for our mortgage.
Okay.
So I can get points for paying my mortgage, which is phenomenal. But you have to spend what you put on what your mortgage is. So let's say your mortgage is $5,000. You have to spend $5,000 in that month to get the points for your mortgage. So you have to match it. So there's tracking there, right? And then we use the Chase Sapphire Reserve for everything. But at one point, we were using the gold, the Amex gold for groceries because we got 4X on groceries. And then we had the Bonvoy card that we would sometimes use for this dining credit and whatever. And then I had my business card. I did not enjoy that. My max, I need simple systems in my life. We have 2, we do the Bilt and the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And then I use my business credit card and I just move the Chase business points to my personal card.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the other trick is I see people use business points for business expenses. And I'm like, what the fluff are you doing as a CPA? I'm like, no, you want to put everything in that business on that business credit card and pay it off every month. Mm-hmm. I transfer my business points to my personal card because I don't get a tax deduction for my personal expenses.
Right.
Do not use your business points for business expenses. You want the tax deduction.
And you mentioned you're using the Chase card, right?
I love Chase. I know that it just went through a whole overhaul for the Reserve, but that has been my main card for probably 7 or 8 years right now.
Ours too. We are using the Chase Sapphire Preferred.
Okay.
Mainly because the annual fee for the Reserve went up again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something you got to watch out for. Like the fees on these cards aren't free.
Oh, no,
like
no.
Some of them are expensive. They're probably like $100 a year. You want to make sure that you're getting a lot more value of $100 a year to make sure it works. But the top tier cards can be $1,000 a year. And again, if you're not using all the perks, you're going to be out of money. Like that, you're out of pocket. It's silly.
And that's where I think though, people, they go, oh, $1,000, what is that? But I mean, last year alone, I think the Chase Sapphire Reserve gave us something between $7,000 and $10,000 of free stuff. I mean, Alex and I went to St. Lucia and went to our very expensive 4-figure a night hotel room, and it paid for the entire thing with points. Like, okay, I paid $1,000, but I got $10,000 of free stuff on the card. Like, don't care. And then you add in the priority pass, like the protections. I also like on the Chase Sapphire Reserve, at one point when I was going through my fertility journey, we won't go down that.
Okay.
But there was one point where I had to be like, if I'm in Finland and I need to be helicoptered out, guess what? I found out my Chase Sapphire Reserve covers somewhere between like $250 or $500. I remember like looking into this and I was like, well, if I'm helicoptered, my credit card will cover this ridiculous, weird expense. I don't know. So there's like also the protections in there that I really like not needing car rental insurance.
That was where I was going. The fun little game I have when I go to the car rental desk and they try and upsell you on the insurance.
Oh, you'll enjoy that.
And I smile inside and I'm like, A, I know car insurance inside out. I have rental coverage through that. B, I've also got the coverage on my credit card should my car insurance freak out for some reason and not decide to cover me. I'm not going to get a third layer of coverage here. And then all you hear people going through before you're like, yeah, well, let's get the car insurance. We need it. Like, you don't. Get a good credit card and read your car insurance.
Really quick on the Chase Sapphire Reserve though, and then just monitoring all these cards, it does become like a full-time job. We have a Google Doc right now because the Chase Sapphire Reserve has gotten so robust with all the new things. And then we went over this other savings limit or spending limit. So now we get these extra perks. And I was like, copy into Doc and make sure I use before end of year, right? Like when we're booking travel, I have to, if I have that many cards like you managing 15, I couldn't do that. I mean, I could, it would just take an absorbent amount of time.
It was enough just trying to track the sign-on bonuses and the monthly spend bonuses versus all the perks. Like I gave up on the perks after a while. It was too much.
Okay, one last thing I want to mention. So Chase, Mack Daddy of points, they go the farthest. I saw you put Mack Daddy on our notes, like so funny. Mack Daddy, they do. I feel like they go the farthest and they're the most flexible. I have a debate with one client on Amex points because they love their Amex card. I've had Amex. They don't go as far as a Chase point goes.
Explain go as far.
I have found, especially with now Chase's new points boost, if you book things on when it has this Chase boost, which makes the points go way, way, way farther, the Amex point won't, I don't know, let's just say for 100,000 points, won't get as much value as like what a Chase point would do. So maybe an Amex will only give me like $500 a room, whereas the Amex for the same points would get me a $700 a night room. Does that make sense? Like it goes farther.
It does. I've actually seen that play out with Hilton and Amex. Hilton points have been getting degraded year after year for a long time. So if you compare, okay, I'm going to Dallas, I can either stay at the Hyatt or I can stay at the Hilton. And I have both cards. Hilton hotel may say, okay, it's going to cost you 25,000 points per room per night. And a Hilton's going to be, it's going to cost you 60,000 points per room per night. It's a hotel room at the end of the day. Like you're going to sleep in the bed. Do you want to spend 25,000 or you want to spend 60,000? And the way you get the bonus is exactly the same spend. So it's, I used to use Amex Hilton cards and now I don't at all.
Well, that's what's funny. We had the Bonvoy. My husband was obsessed with Marriott because like all the hotels, you can go stay in like an airport hotel or you can go all the way up to like St. Regis, right?
Sure.
Their point system is really declining. Hyatt is where the points go the farthest. So I think we're going to actually start converting over to Hyatt. But that's why we're like, why do we need the hotel credit card? Because I can just move my points from Bilt or from Chase to Hyatt.
And I think that's where Chase really gets his bang for its buck. It's all the transfer partners.
Yes. And then if they do the transfer bonuses, like, yeah.
Because I think people don't understand, okay, if you get a Chase card, you can use it for a couple things. Well, once you understand that you can get Chase points, transfer it to British Airways to then buy a flight wherever you want to go and buy a business ticket on British Airways. And then if you want to go to the Middle East, then you transfer over to some of the Middle Eastern airlines and then flying through London. That's when they try to explain to you how airports work. That's a whole rabbit hole in of itself with fees that I dived down for a couple months and I'm like, I don't want to fly into London ever again, but I kind of have to. So that's why I like travel partners and say, okay, I've got this amount of points. Here's what I want to do. Can you just do it for me? Because there's so many different nuances that you have to know, or things, if you get wrong, it just costs you a lot more points or money.
So when I'm working with clients, what I will say is I talk about credit card points with them, because in our goals, it will come out that they want to go, on this big anniversary trip, or they want to take their family on a family vacation every year, like all their extended family. And I'm like, well, how can we do this with credit card points? Where are we maximizing? Because I'm like, well, if we're saving over here, they're happier because they're getting their spending, but I'm getting it for free. That's just more towards their other wealth goals.
Mm-hmm. I do that with a lot of people who have got travel on their bucket list. I'm like, you've got 5 trips. And then I kind of lead in to say, would you like those 5 trips for the cost of 4? And
yeah, like, that's a good one.
And they're like, how? I'm like, let me come into my office.
Yes.
And then we explain, okay, just do the one card for now.
Yeah.
Then we can put another one on.
You have to start slow. Yes. I will say on Chase, I've seen people get tripped up. There is that 5-24 rule where especially with Chase, because the points are so valuable,
Explain
smart.
the 524.
Okay. So be careful how many cards you open up within a 24-month period. I guess it's actually not known. I don't think. It's just a kind of thing that people talk about, that Chase has this rule. But if you open more than 5 credit cards in 24 months, you're
Can't do any more.
Blackballed? What's the right term? It's not the right...
Keep going with new term.
What's the term? But you're you're on the no. You can't open any more credit cards, I guess is the...
It gives them the right to close all your cards. If you keep...
I would lose my mind. I have so many Chase points. Don't you do that to me?
I mean, that's the crazy thing. This is a system that you can play. The bank can shut it down whenever they want to. So do not rack up points for racking up points' sake, because they can all disappear at a moment's notice. This is just a reward system with a bank. So if you don't use them, then they're either going to go down in value or they may get taken away. So don't be that guy who's like, I'm just going for 2 million. That's my target.
Oh, so when I do plans and everyone's like, and I'm sure some of my clients are like, wait, I'm a high net worth individual. Why are you asking for my credit card statements? I find goodies in there. I'm like, you have 1 million points you haven't used. What are we doing? I ask for all this weird stuff because I just find goodies everywhere and it adds up.
Yep.
So yes, be careful of that. The other thing that I've gotten, and I actually was quoted in I think NerdWallet or something. I forget what finance media outlet, but credit card points are not taxable.
Okay.
They're not. Now, if you get, if you get okay, I'm going to open a bank account and I'm going to give you $200 or $300 cash for opening this bank account at Chase or something, that is taxable. That's actually an interest payment.
Okay.
But using credit card reports, even in the business, it's not taxable.
Interesting.
I know.
Because I always thought, I've seen forums where people have been like, I just got this random 1099. What was this for?
And you do it for opening bank accounts and stuff like that, where you are literally given cash in a bank account. Then I think it shows up as interest, like a 1099 interest. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not credit card points. Okay, just wanted to say that. Anything else we should touch on?
Before your bow, there's 2 platforms that I use.
Okay.
And then people can use. So there's seat.aero and point.me. That will help you plan out what airline you should take based on the points, based on the route that you're going. Could you transfer to another airline and get the same thing for less points? Is there a business upgrade you could do? All these different variables that you have, they will map that out for you and figure it all out. So you don't have to do this alone.
That's amazing. I love that. Does that cost anything or are they free?
It is usually free, but it can depend.
Okay. I was like, what are they giving this free stuff for? There's always a reason. Are we ready for my bow? Okay. I would say first decide what's important to you. If you don't travel, then I wouldn't get a travel credit card, but I don't know anyone that doesn't travel. Most of my clients travel. So travel or cashback. If travel, then pick the card for what you want most. Is it hotels? Is it travel? Do you want flexibility? Then you'd probably go with like a Chase Reserve or Preferred. I'd argue Reserve, by the way, because I seriously think that you'll get that money back if you travel a lot. If you have a business, make sure you transfer your business points to your personal card. Again, that's why I love Chase Business Card, Chase to Personal. And then unless you spend hours on this, I think pick 2 to 3 cards and maximize them first. And when you can completely maximize them, then move on to the next one.
All right, if you have learned something from our rambles of the last 25 minutes, you now owe us something in the nicest way. We would like a like, a comment. I'd love a subscribe on the YouTube channel or on the podcast network you're listening to, or just send it to your mom. That'd be great too. We are moving on to the next section of our podcast. It's the question segment. It is called, What Would You Do?
Okay, I haven't started the credit card point game yet. How would you suggest I start?
Well, 5 cards for each. No, it's 1 card. Dip your toe into this.
Yes.
This will take you under very quickly. I think it's understanding, okay, how does this play with my everyday spending? What can I move from my credit card or my bank account that I'm spending onto this credit card? And am I systematically paying off every month? How does that point system work? And then do a small point redemption, like very much little by little piece here. So I think when I started, it ended up being, let's, try and take our points and get a free room on a hotel style we were already doing. Mm-hmm. And then if it works, fabulous. Let's just snowball this from here on out. But 1 card, I would definitely make it a Chase card. You get the most flexibility you can, and see if you can get a really high sign-up bonus too, because that will really push this trajectory along pretty well.
If you're a bougie traveler, I'd do Chase Sapphire Reserve. The bonus will pay most likely for the annual fee, and then you get a $300 travel credit anyways. So just try the Reserve and make sure you spend. That's the other thing with these bonus points. I think people miss this. You have to spend a certain amount to get the bonus. We didn't say that. Yeah. Make sure you meet that minimum spending requirement. Otherwise, you just lost your bonus. Mm-hmm. And they give you it's a 2 or 3 month time frame.
I think there's weird things that people don't understand. If you pay for DoorDash using a Chase Sapphire card, you get discounts.
I know there's so
it's all
there's
over the
so
place.
Many. I mean, Chase is really robust. Chase Sapphire Reserve is still my baby.
Mm-hmm.
I would say start there because it's the most versatile and you can see what you use and then you add on. I like it as the base. That's what I would say.
For the first card, I'm going to push back and say no.
We are going to differ on this.
Because the Chase Sapphire Preferred is $95 a year. What's the Reserve? $850?
I know, but you get the $300 travel credit. So now it's down to like $500. And then the points go farther, and there's just so much.
I don't know for a newbie if I'm pushing them to the Reserve.
All right, well.
If you want to get technical, I'm going to have them do the Preferred. After 2 years, I'm going to have them downgrade to the free version, then sign up for the Reserve after they've downgraded the Preferred to the Freedom.
Okay, wow. All right.
Did we lose you?
God.
All right, question number 2. Lots of cards look alike. Are there really big differences?
Yes. There are humongous differences. You know, the other thing I didn't go on my rant and reserve, when you see the client come in and they have like the credit card from a bank that's like a small bank, like, I don't know, BECU, like one of those credit unions. Mm-hmm. I love credit unions. But they're not given credit card points and rewards.
Right.
Get a credit card that gives you rewards, points, cash back, something.
I think that's why when people ask us where we bank, it's like, okay, all my just base checking accounts and credit cards, it's all at Chase.
Same.
High yield savings, Ally. Like,
same.
I am using various different banks. My HELOC is through a credit union because their rate couldn't be beaten.
This is really funny.
Come on, twin. Like, where are we going?
Okay, I'm trying to see where we differ. Same, yeah.
But it's, do not use one bank for one thing or all things.
Are your investments at Schwab too?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you need there is a big difference. There's a humongous difference. So look into the perks, understand the card. Make sure you're going to use the rewards too.
It's true. Yeah, like you said, if you're not a traveler, don't get a travel card.
No, yeah, if you're a homebody, I don't understand that, but if you are, not a travel card. Okay. Question 3. Realistically, how much could I be earning on points per year, and does it make a material difference?
Well,
oh, you're like you get giddy on credit card points.
you have no idea how long I spent in this game.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
Okay.
So if you play the game where it's, I'm going to max out, that's the wrong word. I'm going to maximize the amount of cards I can get. You're not maxing them out, but if I could do the most amount of cards for me and the adults in my household, so could be your spouse, could be a parent that's living with you. Don't take their social security number without asking. And then if you got a business as well, these sign-on bonuses are really big. Like if you're doing between 75,000 to 100,000 points per card, you could get to 2 million points within a year to 18 months. Transfer that well, 2 million points is between $20,000 to $50,000.
Yeah.
And you didn't do anything different. You just played a credit card game and you didn't spend any differently than you would do. And like we said, you're not going into debt to do this. This is just your everyday spending.
That's why I think I need to hire that person you mentioned. What was his name?
Colin Stroud of Go Somewhere.
Yeah, my issue is time.
Yeah.
So just hire the person, and yeah, that's my win on that.
I mean, 2 million points. Like that's going to take you anywhere on whatever plane
I know.
you want to.
I'm like, I'm just going to
time.
hire him, and I just tell me what car. I'll do the thing. I love it. The other thing is, I wanted to mention, I think people are surprised about us talking about credit cards. I don't let my clients use their debit card for spending. I think that's just, do not do that. I think we've mentioned this on the podcast, but no, the other thing I love about credit cards is if fraud happens, which I'm sad to say it happens a lot these days, credit cards, like it's not coming out of your bank account that you're going to pay your mortgage, your nanny, whatever that is so important. It's not your cash. And a good credit card, I haven't had an issue, knock on wood. They just refund the fraud.
Yep.
Like, do not do this with your debit card. Like, I don't get it. Get free points, protects your cash. Like, no. Okay. Just want to say that.
We are going into the last section of our podcast. Thank you for making it this far. We are going into highlights. This is where we tell you everything that we want to tell you about ourselves.
All right, you go first.
We are, at the time of recording, coming out of winter.
Doesn't feel like it today.
You bring the weather. We had lovely weather last week. You bought the cold and the blizzard. Thanks. Winter sports season in our house wouldn't feel like it's going to be nuts, but it was a lot. Like we're talking, you have 5-year-olds. Let me take you into the athletes'
I'm not ready
schedule. 5:45 in the morning, lifts for football at the high school. So he has to be taken there because he can't drive yet.
Wait, are you getting up at you don't get up early in that? That's Sarah.
Sarah takes him.
Yeah, okay.
I pick him up at 6:30 to then take him back to school at 7. There is practice after school. And then there's other things after school as well. That's one child. The other one, there's also all these events on the weekend. So we were in swimming, wrestling, club basketball, I think, and then there's baseball practice inside. Now we have a driver because Eli turned 16 and all those sports are done. We've had more family dinners in the last 2 weeks than we've had in the last 3 months.
Because you have the driver.
And we have time. There's all those sports ended. Now we're going into the spring season. It's beautiful.
I actually am worried about those days for myself.
Yeah. Now we're into baseball and tennis. Like it's easy sports. And one of them can drive himself to practice. It's great. So we're taking a breather. We're enjoying this and then looking forward to sitting outside for sport.
I have girls. Maybe a little different. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Well, you get to choose this. That's the thing. You get to choose how the level of activity and participation.
It is crazy though. You have 2 kids, 2 activities max. Let's just say you do that. That's 4 activities you have to manage. Yeah, that's crazy. No, I'm not there yet. I'm not going to worry about it right now.
Okay. What about you?
I did this a month ago, but I wanted to bring it up because I think it's important when you realize you're doing the things that you talk about. You don't just talk about them, you do them.
Yeah.
But for my birthday, I wanted to go be with my girls and take them to the Bahamas. I went to 2 hotels that I would have never stayed at if I didn't have kids. The Atlantis.
Did you do the slide?
No, I did not do the slide. I would not do the slide.
Okay.
And this place called Bahamar, I think is how it says, but it's like a water park for kids. Pluses and minuses to both. Loved both. Again, only place I would go with kids. But I literally remember this moment where I was laying on the lounge chair at the beach. This is what I wanted for my birthday. It was on my actual birthday, and the girls were just giggling in the waves, just like running back and forth, playing in the waves. And I was like, this is my why. This is why I work so hard. This is what I wanted for my birthday. And you just like, it's literally cemented in my brain, just like the author from Die With Zero. Like those are memory dividends I'll have for the rest of my life. And you can't put a price on it.
That's cool.
And I was like, I have to keep doing these things. I have to keep like doing the bucket list. My kids are I can't believe they're already 5, like, or they're about to be 5 and, you know, all of these things. And I was just proud. It was one of those moments I'm like, I make my clients do this and I'm doing it.
That's good. How long is the flight from Phoenix to, did you go to Nassau?
Yeah.
How long is that flight?
I think it's like 5 to Miami and then it was like an hour.
Okay.
Layover is like 2. I mean, it's 8 hours of travel time, but I mean, one of my clients actually gave me like props. He was like, you're smart to get them used to traveling now. My kids are very used to being on the plane. And I got a really great compliment. Can I just say? A stewardess said, I just want you to know I see a lot of kids. Your kids are very well behaved on the flight.
That is the ultimate compliment as a parent, isn't it?
I know. And I was like, they were just good on this flight, but sure.
You should have seen them on the other.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Playbook of the Wealthy. If you listened on the audio platform and you want to find us on other audio platforms, you can do. We are everywhere where every podcast is. If you want to watch us, we are on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and according to my marketing consultant, no longer on LinkedIn because we're doing something different there. If you want to email us, you can do. You can go to our website first, though. That's playbookotw.com, and you can email us at hello@playbookotw.com, and we'll see you next time.
All opinions expressed by Dave Grant and Heather Townsend are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the views of their respective wealth management firms. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Nothing in this material constitutes a solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Clients of Retirement Matters and Townsend Financial may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.